Hi guys, Squall here. Welcome to another episode of my realistic playthrough of Derail Valley. We're up at the Iron Mine East, which is top right of the map. We just dropped this off in the last episode and got paid for it. There's potentially some jobs here at the Iron Mine that we could do. I've had a look around the map and had a think and read your comments, and the general consensus in the comments is you guys think that the SO60 is probably down at the sawmill down here, or at the Iron Mine West, one of those two. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some jobs out of here, see where they go, and then we'll either go to the sawmill or the Iron Mine West and have a look around, see if we can find this missing museum locomotive, as I've called it. Now, in order to do that, I've had a look at the jobs here, and the best ones I can see are these three. These two here go to the steel mill. Quite heavy, so about 1,000 tons. We have capability of about 3,000 tons maximum, up 2% dry maximum. So that's well within our capability. But there's also a shunting job here I could do to generate another job to go to the steel mill, which would add another 14, take it up to 1,400 tons. So I'm going to quickly do that job there, and then we'll pick all three up. And what I thought we'd do then is, instead of going to the steel mill, we'll head to the coal mine and see if we can pick up any more, and then come out of there and potentially go to the steel mill. So that's the plan. Let's get started. Right, I've collected the cars. I've handed that job in. This is the shunting job, but just to get them in this area here. This is the loading bay. There we go. Load iron ore. So we've now got these 5, and I need to put them up into C30, and the C yard is up here. We're here in the loading bay, so I need to pull this all forward, reverse it back into C, and then we can start having a look at the other jobs. They should it should generate a new job from this one, and then we can pick this up. But I need to check the destinations on this lot. I know it's going to go to the steel mill, but the other two go to the same track, and I don't know if this one will. So we might have to change the order around a little bit. Anyway, let's get this over to C and get it handed in. That should do us nicely. Let's get the brake on the front car. Get that disconnected, and we'll get this job handed in. Right, let's see which track it's going to the steel mill. 24 grand for doing very little. Okay. Ah, right. That's annoying. That's going to go to A6. Now, A6 is a little bit of a pain. Because it's here, which is a terminal. See, the other two go into B3I, which is a straight through track. Bearing in mind, we do want to go to potentially onwards from the steel mill. We might want to go down to the sawmill. Actually, what's the... has it got the sawmill on this? Have they updated it? They've still not updated it, have they? Yeah, I mean, the sawmill's going to require logs, so... Down at the steel mill, there is a Forest Central here, which would probably have jobs, or the Forest South. So I guess what we'd probably want to do is come down to the steel mill, drop at A3I, and then keep going to Forest South, pick up some jobs here and take them to the sawmill. That would be the easiest, and the problem with that one on the right, A6I, is the drop is here. So then you pull into here, make your drop, and then you're then faced with probably getting another locomotive from here and pulling it off the back and pushing it into A6I, and frankly, for that money, I really can't be bothered with that. So I think what we'll do is we'll just stick with these two, unfortunately. It's a bit unfortunate that didn't work out, but, you know, we've got bigger fish to fry here. So what I need to do is go to B20 and B40. We're disconnected from that job now anyway. Iron Mine East. So we're currently here in C yard, so I'll pull forward. We'll go back to B40 and B20. And we'll get 4 and then 2. No, that sets us up. and then we'll pick them up and we'll hand them in, and then we'll get setting off to coal mine, where I hope that we can find something better to go to the steel mill. Right, we're all loaded up. We've got 2 jobs to hand in. Looking at the weight, 688 tons and 146 meters in length. And then the other one's 344 tons and 73 meters in length. If we add that to our base locomotives over there, which comes to 453 tons and 68 meters in length, we get a grand total of 1,485 tons, and our length is 287 meters. So that's what we've got currently. And the reason I'm tracking that is because we could be picking up jobs, heavy jobs, down at the coal mine, and I need to be able to add them to those numbers so that I know what we're hauling and I know how long this this whole thing is. This is 1,500 tons, which is... It's okay for one locomotive to haul. It could technically probably lift that. I say lift. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this other one as well. And we're going to brake cut this one in. And I'll brake cut the rear one out. There we go. And then we can drive from the front here. Get ourselves comfortable, and we'll make sure the lights are on day running, which is fine. That's off. There we go. Right, okay, so we are coming out of Iron Mine East, and we want to be hanging a left because we want to go straight down to Coal Mine East. And Coal Mine East, as we've just been there in the previous episode, we kind of know the layout now. But we're going to be coming in this direction here. And we're either going to be picking things up in C or in B. But either way, we're going to have to turn the train around because we're going to be hauling back out that way. Let's give it more speed. So what we want to do is probably keep right, and go through the loading yard. And then come in to C from the south side, which will be here. So that'll be a left and a right to go straight through. But just in case, a right and a left will take us straight through. So we go straight through here. The storage yard's here, so it's most likely that we'll be getting from the B yard, because that's got 2 output lines. So then we can just reverse into either of those and pick up some jobs. We'll see what's there, and we'll see if it's going to the steel mill or somewhere else en route. And hopefully we can get a drop down at the steel mill, and that'll take us in the right direction for the sawmill. It's a heck of a drop into this coal mine, and I've had the dynamic brake on all the way down, but even so I still need braking as well. It's with this much speed you pick up a lot of, this much momentum you pick up a lot of speed, and there's a 50 limit back there as well, which comes on you very quickly. Even with dynamic brake I was doing over 60, so I've got the speed back under control. Let's just get the dynamic brake dial back. But yeah, something to be aware of, because it is like a 2% drop almost all the way down there. And it really does pick up speed quite quickly. I've punched in 290 down there, which is our current kind of length. And there is the coal mine. I can already see... Is that a D6 though? I think it is. So, you know, if we do want some extra horsepower, we could actually pick up another D6, depending on what jobs are here, if we need to do a monster run. I need to get the speed under control because it's a 50 on these junctions here. If you've not set your switches correctly, at this point you're already in trouble. Oh, and by the way, you guys commented on the previous episode where I had that derail. And apparently there's a bug in the current version of the game where if you pause while you're driving, there's a very good chance you'll derail a car because it'll set that car's speed to 0. And as was pointed out by you guys in the comments, if it wasn't for that device that told me, like that one there, the fault detector, if I didn't have that, I could have been dragging that car for quite a while and caused an awful lot of damage to other cars. So, yeah, that thing paid for itself. Let's get the speed right down. It's a bit too quick for this turn. Okay, that's good. Right, so what we're looking to do now is pull forward, Coal Mine East, where are we? Pull forward up to at least here, so that we can reverse back into the B yard. And we'll have a look at the jobs. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that, because if I need to add that other locomotive, that wouldn't be the wise thing to do. I think what I actually will do... Where's that loco? Okay, there's the straight through. Where's the loco there? There he is, I think. Let me just double check. I think that was a D6. But it'd be wise to pull up just before that in case we need to bring that in. Where is that? Oh, that's stored in here. Of course it is. So yeah, if we sort of pull up here, then I've got the option of pulling the locos forward and grabbing that on the back before we then add these extra cars. That would be the wise thing to do, wouldn't it? Yeah, so here. Just about here we want to go. Yes, it is a D6. Beautiful. I reckon we'll just stop here somewhat. Lovely. Let's take ourselves down to the station and see if fortune is smiling on us. Well, it turns out that fortune is not really smiling on us. It's kind of offering us an alternative, though. So we've got an unload job, which is no good. We've got logistics to the steel mill, which we could do, but that's in the B yard at 7S, and that would revolve reversing it back in, and for the money, it's not really worth it. Then there's a couple of logistics that go nowhere near where we want to go. And then there's these down here. This is a prepare a train for the steel mill, but we've got a clock ticking on a job, so I can't really do that. That then leaves these two, which both go to B5I in the power plant. And the coal power plant is actually up here. But, you know, we could drop at the steel mill and then go coal power plant. So I guess instead of going to the sawmill, we could perhaps visit Iron Mine West. That's an option. What's fun about that is there's... let's say 900 plus 600, about 1,500 tons worth of weight right there, which added to the 1,400 we have is 3,000 tons. Probably a little bit of a struggle getting that out of here. But we could slap that other D6 on the front and do it. So I think, given what, you know, cards have been dealt to us, I think we'll go with that. We'll change our plans and do this quite sizable weight haul. And so we've got the steel mill and then the coal power plant. And when we make our drop at the steel mill, we'll have a quick look because there's chances are there's some job there that would go probably, I think maybe machine factory or coal power plant maybe. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember. A lot of the jobs go to harbour, but some do go up here, I think. Steel to the machine factory seems quite reasonable, doesn't it? So let's do that. Let's go and get these jobs. Actually, I'll add an extra D6. We'll grab that D6 and slap that on the front. And then we'll pull these jobs in and we'll get the whole thing all out of here. I will have to put this coal on the front. So I need to rearrange these jobs, actually. What I'll do is I'll do it like this because these will now be at the end of the train and dropped off first. And this will be nearer to the locomotives. That makes sense. So I'll disconnect these locos. We'll connect these... Oh, that's cool. We'll connect these two... we'll connect D6 on the back, connect all this, and then bolt it all back onto that and get out of here. Right, well, I've collected the two coal jobs, which are these two here. I've also stuck the extra D6 in there, so I've got 3 D6s running, but I'm not running the DH4. So 3 D6s should be able to handle 3,600 tons up a 2% dry gradient. That's the theory. And we've got, I've added it up, we've got 3,005. Come on, slow down. There's a problem with these things. Once they get longer, they start taking a lot longer to break. We're looking at 3,005 tons all in and 634 meters of total train length is what we've got. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Oh, that's firm. Oh, hello. Okay. Well, I'm not really sure what was going on there, but I saw that bug in the last video, do you remember? With the weird disconnected... I hope that's okay. Where's the handbrake? Okay, so yeah, 635 meters. Incidentally, some people always ask this question when I stream this game. Why these gondolas not even filled properly? And obviously these are. And the reason is, quite simply, that each car has a maximum weight that it can carry, because the axles can only deal with so much, right? And iron ore is very, very heavy, very dense. So you don't need much of it compared to coal to get the same amount of weight. So this is filled up per weight, not volume. As soon as that weight or volume is exceeded, it stops. And in this case, you need that much iron ore to fill it up. That's the simple answer. Anyway, that's all ready. I need to run to the station. You can see it's already on a gradient. So we're doing a hill start. I'll go and hand this in. We can get going. I swear that was about a kilometre run from the station all the way back here. Not joking. Come on, keep going. Keep going. The clock's ticking. Right, we are here. Perfect. Let's get into a seating position. Oh. There we go. Right. Now let's get some power in. And then release the brakes so we don't roll back. And it will take a while for those brakes to release, so we'll just give it time. And then just gradually bring the power in and watching that ammeter over there. Now, the question is, what route do we take? Normally, I would sort of go down the military loop down here, as I call it, and then come out this way and go to the steel mill, and then we're on our way. The other way you can go is you can kind of go left here, and you can go over the goods factory, and then you can either reverse back into the goods factory and turn around that way, or you can keep going and go into the steel mill facing the wrong way. We've done the military loop before. I think we'll do the different one. So what we'll do, let me put some more power in. I need to get the speed going here. I think what we'll do is we'll go left here, and we'll go left again, and we'll go over the top of the goods factory, and we'll keep going this way, and we'll come into the steel mill and make the drop, but we'll face the wrong way, so then we'll have to reverse back up the triangle and go out that way. I think that's okay, and it means that we're doing a different journey to what we'd normally do. Let's get the power going here. So what I need to do is set these switches accordingly. So we're coming out of here, we're going to keep left, then we will keep left again, so that'll take us this way, over the top of the goods factory. We'll then switch to the right, and then we'll switch to the right again, which will take us this way, and then as per normal, as if it'd come from the harbour, right turn, right turn, right turn into the steel mill. Now the steel mill, we want to be going into, we want the last two jobs, B3I. B3I for both of these, the steel mill for the iron ore. So the steel mill we'll set, we'll be coming in from the south this time, into B, and we're going to go 3I, so we'll go right, 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 left, right, 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 left, into 3I from the south, and we'll then reverse back on that triangle. And it does look to me like it's getting a little bit misty and cool. So I don't know if we're due a bit of rain here. I really want to get out of this slope before any rain comes. This is the hardest part of the journey, is this climb out of here. Remember, at the top it hits 4%. It's crazy. Mostly it'll be 2%, but yeah, we're all set up to come this way now. Right turn through here, into the steel mill, reverse, back out the triangle. I'm just going to check the farm, Orwell Central and City West while we've got some time. So the farm will be set up for straight through, so that'll be right and then right, left. Orwell Central will be set up for left, followed by right, left. And then City West, we need to bypass City West So we need to go right, right again, and straight through. And the coal power plant, we're going to be going into the coal power plant. So we're going to want to go left into it. And they're going to be dropping at B5I, it looks like, for both of them. So we're going to be coming in through here. We'll hang a left and go through the loading bay. We'll come into here. That'll drop us on the outside track of B, which will be this track here. So we come through there and then reverse back into 5I and make our drop. So I think we've more or less set everything up. The sun's come back out, thankfully. We are pretty much, yeah, we are full power. We are starting to run a little bit hot now, which is not ideal. Let me just back off slightly. Let me just check the other locos. They should be all... Temperatures should be fine on all three. I think it's just the yellow light, the warning light, saying it's getting quite warm. But I just want to check that nothing's overheating. Oh, this one's overheating. That's interesting. That is interesting. Why is this one overheating? It should be the same as the others, but the traction motors are getting very hot. And we're actually damaging it, bizarrely enough. What's our current speed? Let me turn on the DH4. Let's get some extra power. The problem with the DH4 is it will overheat fairly quickly, but we need to run with less throttle, otherwise we're going to damage this thing. Just as well I took this. I can't quite understand why it's overheating though. There's no other setting that would affect that. Watch the heat on this. Anyway, we're steady state at the moment. And this is the worst part of the journey. But this thing will very rapidly get hot now, and I might have to back this. This one will back itself off automatically because it has the overheat protection. But that one will just go and damage itself. That is a stock car. Okay, because it did go in that zone, there will be a little wear and tear on it, but nothing too drastic. But what I can't understand is why that's behaving differently to the other D6. It does prove the point, though, that I said to you about what's in the manual isn't actually the truth. On paper, according to the manual, these locomotives, 3 of them, can easily handle this. But here we are, with 3,000 total tons, and it's struggling somewhat. Luckily, we've got a little bit of a flat bit, which is quite nice. That allows to pick up speed. Momentum is key here. Sometimes you come out of the coal mill and you find you can't get up here, so what you actually do is you reverse back a bit around that loop, get your speed up to 20, and then as you go over that first bridge, you just punch it. And that way you've got that extra momentum to get you over the lump. We've just gone over the worst bit, which was that 4% gradient, so I'm happy to say that we have got ourselves up that hill, but that was no easy feat, was it? Not at all. Right, so we know where we are now. We're basically here, taking a left at that triangle, and then we're going to keep left all the way down to the goods factory. I do like going this way over the goods factory. The view is absolutely lovely. let's have a quick check on the... Oops. Okay, that's cooled down now. That's fine. Right. I'm going to turn this one off now. There's no need to run that as well. Lovely. Right, we can start backing off now. Most of the work's done. It'll be descent more or less down to the goods factory and then little bits of ups and downs towards the steel mill, but worst part's done. I need to put that in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 640 meters should do it. I don't want my speed to get too high because if I need to react to a speed limit, I don't want to be going too quick. This is a lot of weight behind us. Okay, 60 limit coming up at the triangle. Let's hope that's accurate. No, it's a 50. It's a 60 right, but a 50 left. I hate it when it does that. It gives you one speed limit, but there's actually two. I think it should give you the lower speed limit, not the upper speed limit. I'm going to start the clock there because I want to know when I've cleared this particular junction. We've got a 50 going down to a 30 there, you see that? So I think we may need to actually brake as well. Yeah, there's a sharp right turn coming up. Let's get some braking. That's full dynamic and a good chunk of brake. Just about getting the speed under control. Look at that. Crazy. And now we're just full dynamic all the way around. Oh, it's a horrible chicane of a bend though, isn't it? .60 dropping down to something. I'm going to start that up again. We need to keep that speed under control until then. .40 limit increasing, okay. We take a look at that. It's a lot of weight behind us. And most of it has not even got through that junction yet. For me, I think this is where the fun really comes in Derail Valley, is when you get to the stage where you can take these really big jobs. You start to see a different game. You start to see the problems that come with really long, really heavy loads, that you really have to be ahead of the train all the time. If you get behind, one corner, one switch will just throw you off straight away. Okay, I'm just going to kick that again. And I've got to keep it under 40 until I'll just back off the dynamic. Because we're through the 30 section, we're now into a 40 limit, and then after that we're at 60, and there's the bridge over the goods factory. This is one of my favourite bits of track in this map. But I can't remember what that speed limit is. It looks like 70, I think. Yeah, 70. Because down on the left, there you go. There's a goods factory. Look at that. What a cracking view. Set inside of a mountain. Absolutely fabulous. And a more gentle 1.2% gradient. Okay, I think we can back off now. We're pretty much through those limits. So we're just going to keep it under about 60. We can go and admire the view. Look at this. I'm glad it's still daytime when we've come through this bit of track. Oh, you can see the back of the train. You can actually see the back of the train. Which, considering how misty it is no mean feat. That track down there, that's the one that comes out of the goods factory. We have driven that one. That climbs and merges into this one at this junction here. So this is where, if you want to, you could stop and reverse and go back down that way. It's a different way to get to the steel mill. You could, in theory, reverse it all the way there, but you could also turn it around in the goods factory if it's not too long. I suspect this train might be a bit too long for that loop in the goods factory. That is a cracking view in the valley. Look at that. A misty sunset. Absolutely lovely. Now, there is one slight unexpected problem. The alarm has come on this locomotive for the fuel. It's down to less than a quarter of a tank. It's not the end of the world. It should be enough to get to the steel mill at least, and after that I won't need this locomotive to pull. I've already got 2 D6s. This one's been used a lot more than the middle one, which has been used more than the back one, so I think we're okay. But I must admit, I didn't see that one coming. I didn't realise how low on fuel that was, but we have been running around quite a bit. Last time it got serviced, I think, was down at the harbour? Yeah, at the start of the previous episode, so it was due to run out of fuel. But I think we're fine. I think we're just got to get down to the steel mill now. We are just taking that right-hand turn. We're about here-ish, I think, is where we are. Are we there? Are we here? Which I don't know. Taking a right turn soon. Right, so that's the left for the harbour there. This is the harbour split, I think, which means this is going to be a bit of a steady climb out of here. I need to start the... Actually, no, what speed limit's here? We need to keep it under 40 for this bit at least, and maybe over here as well. So if we are where we think we are, I think we're here now. What's the speed limit going back that way? 40, yeah. Okay, so I need to keep it to 40 all the way through to here. I'm just going to watch that gradient, because the moment it starts going positive, I'll need to bring some power in. So at the moment, it doesn't feel like we're going downhill. Apparently we are, but it really feels like this is an uphill section of track. There's the back of the train just starting the junction. Must admit, the weather has been absolutely fantastic. It's been an absolute lovely drive. We're still going downhill. It doesn't make any sense really, because it's a climb out of the harbour and the speed's actually coming down, so how does that work? It feels like I should be accelerating. Okay, well we're clear of that 40, so I think we'll pick up some speed. Fuel's still okay for now. Alright, B3I is the steel mill drop. those two. So we've just got to disconnect the iron ore cars and pull forward, basically. Hand the job in, reverse back down the centre, through the triangle. Actually, we'll look. It's going to be a tough call, this, because when I reverse on that triangle, I need to look at the jobs coming out the steel mill as well and see if it's worth reversing back into the steel mill to get more jobs, or risk losing the bonus on these coal jobs, which pay, well, that's 90k with a bonus, and that one's 75k with the bonus. They're quite long, 105 minutes though, so in theory we've got plenty of time. If there's a job from the steel mill to the farm or city west, or the machine factory, or even Iron Mine West, unlikely, but probably a logistic job maybe. It might be worth considering. Unfortunately, I can't refuel this locomotive very easily. According to this map, the coal power plant actually has a train station. Oh no, train station doesn't have a diesel service, that's what I need. So the steel mill's got one, but it's off in a weird position. Orwell Central has one, but is it worth slowing down to use it? It's over here, so yeah. I think we'll just have to grin and bear it and turn this loco off when it runs out. Right, we're approaching the steel mill. I've just got the dynamic brakes. Slowing it down a little bit. The sun has set now, so it's very much dusk. Just try and keep the speed around about 50 as we go through these switches, which I have hopefully set correctly. But if I haven't, it's a little bit late to be doing so. Right, 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 left. Lovely. Okay, I'm going to turn off the dynamics now and just get some light braking going because I can't use the dynamic from the remote. So we're looking to get the coal trucks just about here. Right here somewhere. In fact, if I stand on here, it might make it a little bit easier to see when the coal trucks are ending. Right, there's the board. Now that thing's going to be going downhill, so that's something to bear in mind. Okay, I think I can see the end. Yeah, that's definitely an iron ore car. I reckon that is going to do us quite nicely, thank you very much. Lovely. Alright, let's get the handbrake on that car there. And if we disconnect that... what on earth is going on with this link? That is completely and utterly janked. I've never seen that prior to this build. This build seems to have some bugs in it. Blimey. Right, okay. That's valid. And the other iron ore one is also valid. So that's 36 grand for that. Got the bonus, 65 grand for that. Lovely jubbly. Let's get that moving forward so that we can reverse it. Let's have a quick look at the jobs over here. City West, Logistics, Harbour and Town. Harbour and Town, goods. City South. Nothing for the machine factory. Oh, there is one for the machine factory. There you go. There is one. Steel billets. That is in B10, which we could take. It will be on the back of the train. That's the only downside to taking this job. But I reckon we can do something cunning with that. It's getting really hard to see where this train is up to now, isn't it? So B10 is here. We need to haul it that way, though. Okay, that should be fine there. I need to get back under the light. Can't see what I'm doing. So this is the B yard, so we need to go right, then left, so we come back straight through. Yeah, we might have to get a little bit creative at the coal power plant. That's the only downside of doing this. We'll get a bit of wheel slip. Now, this will be... How heavy is this job? 400 tons. Okay, I need to work out the length of this. Yep, we're going to reverse down here. Back to the triangle. So I need to bring this map up here. What I want to do is keep left and reverse. So we're going the right way. Reverse up to here, then go back forward, and then reverse back and grab... I'm at the wrong triangle. This triangle. We're going to go back up here, come forward, and then reverse. Let me jump on board. Turn it around, and there are the steel billets there. That's the job we want. This has been really, really difficult to get this train turned around. I realised that if I left this steel mill, I wouldn't be able... The job would reset. All the jobs reset when you leave the area. And so I've had to basically reverse this thing. Here it comes, blimey. Around the triangle, with no visibility of what I'm doing. I have to basically guess when the whole train has gone past. Slow down, boy. I've had to guess when the whole train has gone past the junctions on that triangle. It's been horrible. The range extender was absolutely necessary because even the range of this would gone well into the yellow. I was stood that far away. And it was nighttime. If it had been daytime, I could have seen the train properly, but at nighttime, I couldn't see it. I just hope nothing's derailed, because if I drove over a switch and then switched it, it may have derailed some cars, and I don't know that yet until I jump in the locomotive and find out there's a fault. So yeah, it's been a bit hairy, to be quite honest. But that's caused by the fact that if you leave the area, it'll reset the jobs, and I didn't want to lose this particular job here. Oh, he's come back. Alright, let's get that hooked up. It appears to be free rolling, so I'm hopeful that nothing has derailed, but it's not guaranteed yet. Let me go and quickly chuck this job in. We're going to have to get creative at the coal power plant because this is now on the back. I hope this job's still valid after all this. FH35. Okay, let me hand it in. Steel billets. Let's just double check this is FH35. It is. Okay, right. The question is the front of the train... Oh, it's gone the right way anyway. Let's just get it going. I've wasted enough time here. I need to get to the front of the train now and double check that there's no fault. You can see how dark it is tonight. It's caused by the lack of moon, and there's no, oh, the moon's over there now, it's just come up. But it's also cloudy, and the visibility is absolutely horrendous. In fact, I really can't see what I'm doing anymore. Let's get the ye old torch out. There we go. So I had to reverse the train up there, guess when it had passed that switch, switch it, send it down that way, guess when the back had gone past that switch, and then reverse the whole thing back into here. Well, thankfully, that switch light is not on, so all is well. As long as I've set these correctly, we can get ourselves into the coal power plant. So what I tend to do at the coal power plant now is obviously we're going to come in this way as planned. I will come to about here, disconnect the steel billet cars, the rest of the train will go around the front, hopefully it won't meet the back, and then I'll reverse these cars into here, drop them off, and then we'll reverse and pick them up, drive around and get out of here is the more or less basic plan. But whether we'll get the bonus for this drop now, I don't know, because we spent a lot of time doing this, and I think it's starting to rain. 105 minutes was the total duration, and yes, it does look like rain, doesn't it? Well, the weather's got progressively worse, and the fuel's almost done on this D6, but it's got us up this hill mostly, so that's fine. It'll shut off when it shuts off. Yeah, it's chucking it down outside. Plan still remains. We're going to hole up and drop those remaining billets, and then we can unload this coal. I'm hopeful still that we'll get the bonus on it because it's worth quite a few dollars. And then we'll connect back up and get over to the machine factory. What time is it in this game? Where did I put my clock on this one? There it is. 23:25, so 25 past 11. Quite late. So I actually messed up a little bit. You probably saw this coming, didn't you? I've gone left into the loading bay, and that sent me straight into B. I actually wanted to go left into here, and then I could have dropped the cars there. So I'm now in B with the cars. So I'm going to have to go to this switch here, which should be coming up. I have to go to here and just push the other cars back there for now, and then reverse them into here. So it's a little bit of extra faff, but not a huge amount. But it was definitely driver operator error. So yeah, no problem at all. We'll just get these pushed back beyond there, and then we'll push the rest of them back and deliver them. I have to say, these have been very challenging conditions at night in the rain. Like, no visibility. As soon as I put that torch down, I can't see what I'm doing. Anyway, I've got these cars rolling in now. The others are on this stretch of track here. So what I'm going to do is, after I've dropped these into B, I'm going to pull the locals forward, reverse there, connect, and just push them. I'm just going to push them in reverse all the way straight to the machine factory. I can't be bothered turning around and looping around. I'm just going to get this job done. It has been... I had to do a little bit of fly shunting to get it all done properly, a little bit quick. But because it was in the dark, you couldn't see it anyway. I was working blind. It was quite horrendous. But here we go. We've got the job here. If I can remember where the station is. There it is. There's a green light there. I want to get this handed in as quickly as possible. Need to be beyond about here-ish. Yeah, I was driving, as we got into the coal power plant, the front locomotive shut down. It was quite weird just listening it go boom, 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 boom. It just stopped. But I've still got two operational, and most of the weight's gone anyway now. But the wet is also making it challenging as well, because not only can I not see what I'm doing, but every time I brake, it is very, very slippery. Find a handbrake on that one. There we go. Right, let's see what time we got. Did we get lucky? 73 minutes. That's 73 grand off that one, and 96 off that one. Lovely. That's given us 1.6 million. Okay, let me pull that car forward. We'll get it all reversed up and get up to the machine factory for our final drop. That's the steel cars right there, you can see. I had to put 2 handbrakes on. With 1 handbrake, they were still skidding down that hill. That's what was going on, genuinely. It's that bad. It's that slippy out there. Thankfully, there's a little bit of moonlight coming out now. I can almost see what I'm doing again. Yeah, honestly, the visibility is just massively increased. Just a few minutes ago, this whole area was completely black. Also, if you just put a little bit too much throttle on, you get massive wheel spin. Right, again, I can't see where anything is. There it is. Well, if you wanted nighttime shunting in the rain, you got it. Let's get the brakes on nice and early. That's that released, and then we've got 1 brake here and another brake somewhere down here, and we should be good to just reverse our way up to the machine factory, but we're going to be reversing blind. So coal plough plant is already set to go that way. Machine factory, which is this. Let's get some more power going. I just need to remember where we're going. We are going to C4I at the machine factory. So right turn, left turn into C, and then right 4I. And if I remember, I'm trying to remember the speed limits around here. I think we're good for 40 through the junction. Basically, if the fault light goes off, I've messed up. That's the way this is going to roll, because I can't see a darn thing. Like, absolutely nothing. That's my visibility right now. And that's not the back of the train at all. So yeah, as long as we go right through this switch, we'll be on our way to the machine factory. Machine factory is well lit, so I'm fairly confident we'll be fine. Okay, we're at the machine factory, and I really am relying on the fact that I've got those switches set correctly. Let me get my speed down. I don't like coming in backwards like this. It's just... it's not safe at all. Let's get on the roof. There we go. Alrighty then. I think we're good here. I also think I'm going to overshoot this whole thing. Yep, I've overshot. Came in a little bit hot. Forgot how many locomotives I've got. See, I don't think that you should get wheel spin like that. I don't know. Not with the not with the amount of traction we've got here. The amount of axles we've got. Double check the job 4i is correct. I reckon that will do us nicely. Hopefully we're in for a bonus there. Yeah, I hope they fix this though. What is going on with this? This is so broken. That is absolutely messed up. Look at that. Let me just double check this is disconnected. Even when you disconnect it, it's just broken. Right, let me turn these engines off. Turn that one off. And we'll turn that one off. Belts and braces, we'll put the handbrake on that one. Woo! That was a big old job. The whole point of getting us here was, of course, to get us up to the iron mine to try and have a look for this SO60. I'll have a quick look around here as well when the daylight is here. I don't think it's here, but I'll check for it. I think we've got the bonus for this, hopefully. 33 out of 51, 34 grand. Lovely. So, we now have 1.7 million and total fees clocked up on 2 locomotives, but we've also got our own locomotives that have some servicing that needs to be done. Plus that fee from the derail in the last episode. Yeah, we made good money. It says we've got to pay 900 grand is the remaining co-pay, but frankly, I'm just going to clear that down. We've got to get the front loco serviced anyway. There is a service yard here at the machine factory, as we know, which is over here. So I think the first order of the day will be to get that done, but that's it for this video, and I do hope you've enjoyed it. Take care, guys. Happy training.